Hi guys, I thought I'd do this video just explaining some tips that might help someone quit smoking or at least quit tobacco. This is just going to be from my advice from how I went from smoking 20 cigarettes a day to now I vape for maybe maximum of like an hour a day at that. And it's been about 2 years since I had my last cigarette, and I'm very happy about that. Ironically, as I said though, I do still vape. So I'm not exactly cold turkey yet, but I've always seemed I've had a puff habit. So this does replace how like bad I was feeling and how toxic I was feeling when I was having cigarettes. But obviously I do understand I'm still not nicotine free. So if that's the kind of method for you, this is going to be out. But if you want to quit cigarettes and get into vaping and start feeling a lot better, then this is how I did it, and I'll give you some advice of what you're looking at here. Bearing in mind my advice is going to be easily a few years out of date in this. Things have come on probably a long way in vaping. I don't pay any attention to it. I know what I like. This is how I quit. I still maintain my puff habit. I mean, one day I will put it down, but this has been very enjoyable for me. I do still enjoy, as I say, just to have a morning cup of coffee and just to be able to puff away. It's quite nice. Only smokers would kind of understand. My weapons of choice were Gold Virginia when I was all into it. Now I don't know how much of a camera angle I'm going to get on this, but what I'm going to do here today is I'm basically going to show you what I use, which is this mod box here and this vape coil, and I was basically going to show you what I use. So this is a Falcon King, if I remember rightly. So one of the first ones, this actual tank here. So basically what you get is, ignoring the tank for a minute, is you'll have what's called basically an electrical device. It could be, this is quite a small one, and it's actually been really reliable. This is about 2 years old. I mean, this is like an Alien, Smok Alien, and it came with actually a really bad, now this is the key, even though this unit for electricity is okay, it uses these 18650 batteries, which I believe, again, they're out of date now. You can get bigger ones and they're a different standard, and from what I've looked, these are hard to find, but we'll use it because that's what I'm using. But basically this is what controls the batteries to give it basically the cool heat to generate the vapor off of the liquid. In quite a short regard, I'm not going to go into detail because there's people are going to explain this a lot better than me. But basically what I've done, because this can go up to 220 watts, it can cover a whole varied range of different what are these called? Different tanks, I guess they're called. They're called tanks. This is the Falcon King tank, and this is the Falcon Coils. I guess it's the branding. It's good looks. It's got the bloody firing eagle on it. Now I tried some of these when I came into it. I used to use the Smok Coils, and they're okay, but they won't. You'll probably find this is the problem with vaping. That depending how you get into it, it's dependent on, it's like cigarettes. Each cigarette is kind of different. Some are strong, some are light, some are really like harsh, some are really basically bitter, and some are quite sweet. It's all down to what you're used to. And largely a lot of what you're addicted to is generally what you first started on, if I'm perfectly honest. There is a big psychology element into it. But what I used is, I ended up using the was it a Beast tank, like the Smok Beast tank or something, with mesh coils, and I then quickly heard about this Falcon King being the best and moved to that, and I ended up liking the M Dual coils, and I went from, when I started out vaping at about 50 to 60, 70 watts, so it's actually really quite a hot smoke on this setup, to nowadays I'm hitting, what it says there is 46 watts. And watts is your main thing to worry about. I would just focus on, when it comes to these, just play with the watts, don't play with the ohms as much. The whole unit seems to calculate a lot of the ohms and things, and they are different depending on what coils, and I guess the wire in the coil and how many ohms it can handle. But you can see here, this is an open pack. These are quite expensive. I picked up a load of these just before the lockdown last year, and I've actually still not had to buy any more yet, touch wood, but you can still get these pretty well, which I was happy about, because I was worried with China going down that we would be low stock. But when you're starting out, you'll end up getting like liquids like this. This is empty, but this is a very a very nice branded company called Bad Drip, putting on medicine bottles, and I think you'll find a lot of this is more the branding than the actual liquid, because, and I mean, I guess at the beginning I was still sort of vaping a bit of this, and I was still probably having a cigarette or two, and that's a good way to lean off of it. But I ended up going back and forth between finding what I liked, and then I'd end up smoking again. I wouldn't vape, and I'd try and vape, and it would be almost trying to reteach my brain to remember to stop smoking and start vaping. And I've actually still got some tobacco and stuff, but I just haven't touched it. So when I was actually starting out, some of the stronger flavors, this is a really good one, Strawberry Jelly Donut by Loaded E Liquid. I believe they have a couple that are quite nice. They have like a glazed donut that's really good. These sort of strong flavors are really nice when you're getting off the tobacco. Whereas now I don't think I could really handle anything like that. It's almost too strong for me. But when your taste buds aren't all there at the beginning after you've been smoking for years, you're going to need something that's going to be able to take you off of it. Now you can get different nicotine strengths. You can see these are 0. It's because over here you have to add your own, which is through these nicotine shots here. And I will get onto that. So basically the company that I use is called Flavour. And I was going to do a separate video on there, but I thought I might as well reel it into one. This is quite an old one now. I imagine it still looks like it will be okay. But this is one I quite like, Hipster Bear. It's similar to this. It's meant to be Don't Care Bear, Death to Hipster Bear, kind of a rip-off really. You'll find that a lot of the flavours are quite similar. But this one needs 40 mil. Oh no, sorry, right, it's 40 concentrate on in terms of. So what they will do with Flavour is they'll send you basically it's. And I'm getting a bit varied on this. But basically these can be quite expensive, almost £20 a pop. I can't remember how much they're going for now. I haven't looked, but I imagine they're still quite expensive. And you've still got to mix the nicotine yourself. And it's good if you don't know, you want to try different flavours and find something you like, it's important. But then you come to someone like Flavour, and it's where you make your own liquid, but not quite as such. They do the hard bit for you, and that's actually mixing the flavours. So you just go in, pick your flavour, and you could do this on a smaller scale as well, but I've always done it with the big bottles because this is a flavour. This is my favourite, Sugar Lips. This is probably like my 7th bottle now, or something. This is literally my favourite. I don't vape anything but this, and I believe this is one of their best selling as well. So for example, this has got 100 millilitres of concentrate, the flavouring they've already added and mixed. Now all I need to do, and it's all sealed, it all comes sealed and everything, so you know it's not been messed around with or anything like that. It's all as it should be. And then basically it says here, if I wanted it to have a 18 milligram, oh rather, if I wanted to have it yeah, so it's actually giving a different recipe on here now. It's giving a stronger recipe as well. Yeah, so the top recipe is what I've been using, 3 milligram strength of nicotine, and it actually says 83 mils there. I just chuck 8 bottles in this here, and then what it says to do is he's got VG and PG, vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol, where I've still got a load of propylene glycol my brother gave me in there. It's actually running a bit low. And then I just buy VG again from Flavour, about a litre at a time, and I've just bought another one to go with this. And so what I will do is we'll just mix, as it says on the side, 8 of these shots into there. We'll then put, I think it's about 50 mils, yeah, 50 mils of PG, which is usually about 2-3 bits of that, because that's a mixture of VG and PG, but it's quite a high mixture. And then I just top it up pretty much to the neckline with VG. Now I would do that now, I'm going to do it now, but I'm going to probably not talk over it and maybe do a couple of clips of it at the end or something, because it's not that interesting. Now the main thing with this is that the batteries can go, so if like you're vaping at work all day, for example, you're having a break at day, if you would take like weak batteries with you, you're always going to want a spare pair of batteries, particularly if you're literally kicking the habit. It's one of these, it does kind of take over your smoking habit, and so I've just got myself a charger like this that means you can charge a full pair of batteries. These are pretty knackered, while the machine's ready to go and you don't have to worry about running out and all the rest of it. Now with really quitting cigarettes, it's kind of more a mental game, and then I can't really say a lot because I'm still puffing away on this, but generally the health benefits I receive from it in terms of fitness and being able to just breathe and taste, and I don't cough anywhere near as much as I used to, if anything at all. and just generally the whole thing, like, you'll notice it's actually not so much the nicotine that's the problem. It's actually basically everything else that's with it. It's all the carcinogens, all the toxic stuff that comes out in the smoke itself that ends up making you feel bad. I don't know where this stuff stands. I mean, I've been vaping, as I say, this flavour for a good while and it's been fine. I'm well aware it's not going to be good long term, but I do plan to kick the habit in about another year or so. Derp. I'm pretty sure it's 50 mils, which in this case it's about 30. It's about 35 PG. And all I do is do another half of one. Right guys, thank you for watching and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.